Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Chrysalis 10-light small crystal mobile pendant. This is the 131159. So the reason it's called a small is because it's using one of the smaller Chrysalis fixtures that we'll talk about more in detail in just a second. So why don't we talk about a couple quick things. Why don't we talk about the height of the fixture body itself, and that's going to be from the bottom of, it's going to be an individual one we'll talk about, and it's going to be from the bottom here to where the cable is going to start, which is right about there, and that's coming in at 8.8 inches. The diameter of this, including all 10 lights, is coming in at 37.2. We do custom sizes as well, so if you're looking for something larger or smaller than this, and the same idea, drop me a quick email. Say you're looking at the 131159 and give us the details of what you're looking for, and we'll send it through Hubbardton Forge's customs department. So the overall height, now we're talking about the distance from the very, very bottom of the fixture, so it's going to be the bottom of one of these, the very bottom one, to the ceiling itself is going to give you a very good range. This is going to start off at 16.5, which means it could be a semi-flush if you need it to be, and the standard range on this is going to go all the way to 88 inches. The longer version of this is going to go from 16.5 to 142. And again, we do custom lengths, so if you need this to be longer than 142 inches from the ceiling to the bottom of the fixture, drop us a quick email, tell us what you're looking for, and we should be able to accommodate pretty much everybody, all the way up to like a second story. So speaking of second stories, this is not slope ceiling adaptable, so it cannot be used on a slope ceiling. It's a very important little part of this. Coming in at 41.2 pounds because these do add up, so talk to your installer about that. So let's talk about the canopy. Actually, before that, let's talk about the glass, because the glass is pretty incredible, and I want to talk about how it's made. Hubbardton sources their glass all over the world, and this is some of the most beautiful crystal I think I've ever seen. So you basically have a hand-blown, very thick, I don't know if you can see how thick it is, the bubble of air is way down here, and the crystal goes all the way up to the top. So it's done in crystal first, and then it's basically dipped in molten glass, and you're going to have two different types that you can do. So you can do this matte black, and the other one's going to be a matte white. So after that, after it comes out of there, they actually start grinding this against a wheel, a buffing wheel, a grinding wheel that's going to basically grind and polish each of these facets. So you get these really incredible, kind of like a gemstone quality. That's how diamonds are done, and this is basically the same idea. It's really, really, really beautiful. Top of it's got an embedded retaining ring. It has threading inside. That goes over your socket and it hides the bulb inside, so that's what that is. And now we can move on. Okay, let's move on to that canopy up in the ceiling. So a canopy is what's on the ceiling. It's that disc that's going to go over your standard junction box. You guys have a 4-inch J box. That canopy is coming in at 12.3 inches in diameter. It is about this thick. It's holding a transformer. It's going to transform your line voltage into low voltage, which will safely go through those cables down to those very specific 10 lights. So a couple things about that as well, talking about the canopy back up there. So the canopy, when you look at that choose your finish on the finish, that's going to be on a few things. So it's going to be on the parts that are just above this. It's going to be on those long bars that are kind of making this into a mobile. It's also going to be on what's called a face plate. So when you're looking at the canopy, you have a bottom plate that's round and flat, facing down. That's your face plate. That's going to be in that choose your finish. The can of the canopy, that's the round part that touches the ceiling, is always going to be in black. So little details for you to know. The grippers are the 10 little pieces, and they're kind of like an unpolished chrome that are going to be on that face plate, and that's what you push your cables into during your installation in this. So, and more to show you on that is we're going to look at the installations instructions really quick. So if you're on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont, look over on that side of the screen, midway down, you're going to see a link. It's going to say click here for installations instructions PDF. So open that up for me. It's going to show you a full parts list. It's going to show you how to put it together, which is very simple. But it's also going to show you information about those little grippers and how you can push those cables in. And if you need them to come back out again, you can do that. You take your thumbnail and you kind of push into the gripper, and it unlocks it, and it'll let you bring that down during your installation to get them, to adjust them to get them to where you want them to be. You can't make them go up and down all the time. It's just during your installation. So another good thing for you to know. And again, those are going to be kind of a polished nickel. So you've got three things going on up there. You've got the can in black, you've got the face plate and the finish you chose, and you have those little grippers in kind of a polished nickel. Okay. Oh, cables coming down are always going to be kind of a gray silver. So again, little details there. Why don't we talk about how much lamping, the lamping down below, the 10 lights, what we're using for bulbs, all those good things. And you can get a lot of light out of these. So you've got 10, don't forget. This is going to be a LED only fixture. You're only going to be using LED bulbs in this, no halogens. It's a G4 socket that takes little bulbs that have little tiny prongs on them that go in, G4 bulbs, and you're going to be using a max of 4 watt in each of these lights. Again, you've got 10, don't forget that, so it adds up quite a bit. So the 4 of these 4 watt LEDs have the equivalent of about a 25 watt incandescent bulb that we all grew up with. So I'm going to give you an idea of how much light comes out of each of these. So more on that. We'll talk about how to get them. Well, it's pretty easy. You can get them at Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, places like that. But it's much more easy to get them, frankly, on Amazon because they're going to have a better selection. And that's where we get our bulbs for our showroom. They're going to offer these bulbs to you in different ways. They're going to offer them to you in 2700 Kelvin, which could be very pretty in this. That's going to be a very yellow light. But they also offer these to you in something called daylight, which you should be very careful about because that sounds like it should be a warm light like sunlight, but it's not. That's going to be cold, kind of outdoor overcast day, or like a convenience store light. That's like that bluish white light. That's 4000, 5000 Kelvin. You'll notice that on the page. What we like to use in our showroom is warm white or soft white, and they'll spell it right out there, and it's 3000 Kelvin. That's the light coming down from these above me, these LEDs, onto this nice table. So that mimics like a nice glow of an incandescent bulb we grew up with, so that's why we like that. So if you're looking, the best thing to do would be probably go on Google or Amazon or one of those things and put in G4 4 watt LED, see what pops up, and kind of like just go through it and see what you think, and you're good to go. You'll notice that they're actually different shapes and different sizes, and they look all different, but they all kind of do the same job. Very important, this is a dimmable fixture without any problem. Just make sure you get a dimmable bulb. Tell your installer you're using dimmable LEDs so they put the correct dimmer on the wall for you. Let's get into metal finishes now. If you are on the HandmadeInVermont.com website, look over in the red tabs with the pictures in them over there. You're going to see a Finishes Help Guide tab. Open that up for me. It's going to be a video there of me talking to you guys about the differences in Hubbardton Forge finishes, how they can look on different types of forging. I'm going to be referencing a chart just down below. So scroll down a little bit. You're going to see a chart. You can click on that chart. So you can click on dark smoke. You can click on soft gold. Doesn't matter. Big page will pop up showing you lots of different things in that finish. You can go back to the chart and you'll notice there's letters A's on them, letter B's on some of those things, and that's going to be showing you this range of variants that you can expect to see on different translucent finishes, but I'll talk about all of that in the video, okay? Okay, showroom. Our showroom in Vermont has over 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures. This is the biggest showroom in the world of Hubbardton Forge. No other showroom is like this. Hubbardton Forge doesn't even have their own showroom. They use this one. What's on display? We have a great tab on that. In those same red tabs, you're going to see a What's on Display page. So open that up. It's going to show you everything we have on display, and including which finish, which shade, all of those things, and what kind of glass it's on there. We're open every day except Sunday, 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have an amazing clearance center. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued stuff, showroom samples. You have to come here to use it. Can't call us or email us about it, but it's definitely worth coming in to look at if you're in Vermont. Plus you want to use the showroom anyway because there's just so much great stuff here to see. Our number in Vermont, 802-446-2400. You can email us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Love to answer emails, and it's sales@HandmadeInVermont.com. So when you order from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is going to be free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont. And we're the only dealer with 90-day returns, no restocking fee. Nobody else does that. Some larger items are going to be non-returnable. It's going to be really important that you are looking at the fixture on that page and kind of scroll down under the description. It'll tell you if that is the case. And that's usually for really big, giant, huge fixtures, mostly that go out on pallets. Okay, that's it. Rush program. Let's talk about that. So rush program, Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to go out the door. That's production time before your transit time. You always have to add that on too. We offer a rush program that takes you from that 3 to 4 weeks down to a little under 2 weeks it's a very small addition per line item. So if you have like 1, 2, 3 items, like let's say 3 or 4 outdoor sconces, and they're all the same size and they're all the same finish, that's one line item. So it's very inexpensive to rush those kind of things. Don't be afraid to email us and ask about that. Okay, so that's really it. If you guys have any other questions, let us know. We would love to see you in our showroom sometime. And thanks for stopping in.